Hello, TE831, and welcome to week 4 of teaching school subject matter with technology. At this point in the course, we've identified our problem of practice. We tried our hand at some vodding and vlogging, many of which you are all very funny, very funny people who are doing really great and important things in your life. And now we're sort of taking that next step to remix and remediate our instruction with the Remix Remediate course project. So as always, we're going to have a quick opener. I'll go over the readings and viewings for the week. I'll also begin our focus thinking about our learners, their access and histories of participation, as well as focus really deeply on content. And then we'll sort of talk again about problems of practice, and I'll speak to some larger trends I'm seeing in the discussion post and how I may want you to shift your thinking as you think about the problem of practice. We'll talk about UDL, or Universal Design and 21st Century Learning Skills, and what it means to teach all students. We'll preview week 4 and then move into module 2, where we're sort of practicing techno-inclusive instruction. And then I'm really going to sort of tell you about, I think check-ins are needed for those of you who are still a little bit unsure of your problem of practice. And those definitely can happen via email, but I think they're more beneficial if we Skype, Google Hangout, or chat on the phone. So, last week we talked a little bit about what it means to take a practitioner inquiry lens into the course. And we sort of said, okay, this is who I am as a teacher, and these are some of the problems that I'm facing in my classroom, and this is how technology intersects with those problems. And so now we have a problem of practice. So now we're beginning to think in week 4, what knowledge has the most worth? So this week we open Beach's book, we read chapter 1 and 2, and we begin to think about techno-teaching as a form of literacies. But we also think about teaching all students, and thinking also about what knowledge has the most worth. So here are the 4 readings for the week. There are 3 additional viewings that you can find on our course wiki. These readings, minus the Beach book, are all on D2L for you to look at. So I look forward to hearing from you and sort of seeing your thoughts as I ask you to create a visual of some sorts in this week's discussion response. So what is universal design? So for those of you who are special educators, universal design may come, second nature. For all of us, though, universal design has some really great guidelines and core principles to think about the ways in which we can help our students and all of our learners be successful in the classroom. The first really is thinking about representation. And for me, representation, action and expression, which is the second tenet, and the third tenet of engagement really has a lot to do about remediation. As if you sort of rewind to last week and think about remediating as sort of understanding the multiple communicative aims and means of delivering a message. So as we think about UDL and representation, action, and expression, I want you to think about, as you read chapter 4 this week of the UDL book, how UDL and remediation sort of intersect and how they have sort of the same purpose in having students meet instructional outcomes. But all of this is to say that at the core of what we're doing in this course is really to think about 21st century student outcomes and support systems. And a really good friend of mine on Twitter recently posted this thing of 21st century learners, these kids were born well into the 21st century. We're no longer teaching 21st century skills. They were sort of born into them. And we can sort of think about that tweet in a similar vein to Prensky's digital natives, or some of you even sort of talking about the tension between being a digital native according to Prensky's sort of, qualifications, but not feeling so sure about the techno-teaching aims and goals that I'm asking you to sort of achieve in the class. But when I think about 21st century learning and the outcomes and support systems therein, I think about the 3 R's of reading, writing, and arithmetic, infused with 21st century themes. And what you see there is sort of life and career skills, learning and innovation, as well as information, media, and technology. All of these, though, as you'll sort of see, stand on the footsteps of standards, curriculum, professional development, and learning environments. And this is sort of, the Remix and Remediate project is a way for me to think about this visual in a way that ultimately has you leave this course with a product that is grounded in teaching. Whether you're teaching first grade or, like Paris College biology, really this is a chance for you to sort of flex your muscles a little bit in terms of remixing and remediating your instructional sort of goals for the content that you teach. So if last week we were focusing on this number 1 of identifying a problem or meaning in the cycle of teacher inquiry, now in sort of the remaining weeks of the course, we're going to develop questions and examine our own assumptions, as well as gather data. So we're really sort of sitting here at the first 3 steps of the teacher inquiry cycle, as step 4, 5, and 6 really sort of are dependent upon the teaching of the course. And like I said, since we're taking this course in the summer, we're really just focusing on making really strong instructional practices and designs so that we can sort of enact this type of instruction next year or next semester. So I want to rewind, though, to discussion post number 3, as well as some of your vlogs. So here we have sort of 2 pictures. On the bottom left, you sort of see students' hands raised, what I would consider a visual metaphor for learning or engagement. In the second sort of top right corner, you sort of see that this disciplinary flower, if you will, that focuses on content. A problem of practice for this course does not focus on student engagement. It does not focus on course management for how do I manage a BYOD. It does not focus on I have so many iPads and I don't know what to do with them. It does focus on that circle part, on that discipline. So if you have so many iPads and you sort of don't know what to do with them in terms of management, my understanding of good instruction comes from if you plan deeply rigorous, content-driven lessons, the rest will fall into place. And I'm saying this as a teacher who has taught across the K-12 spectrum, as well as a university educator who seemingly also, has college students with cell phones, mobile technologies, laptops, tablets, etc. And it isn't about me saying put it away, but rather me sort of looking at its visibility in my classroom and doing something about it. So I want us to not focus on engagement. So if you're thinking about engagement right now, we just erase that. I want you to think about the content that you teach. This course is called Teaching School Subject Matter with Technology. If you still have questions about engagement and management, please, please, please come and talk to me. I have a lot of great resources that I've given students in the past, but really this is about teaching content with and through technology, not teaching sort of engagement or how to, this is what people would call the hook. I think it's great that teachers hook kids in with a YouTube video, but how does YouTube act as a mechanism to remix or remediate learning outside of that hook atmosphere? So some of us this week are going to have to rewind and begin to think about our problem of practice again. For others, we're already on course. We're just going to keep going. I also, in an email that I'm going to deliver on Monday, have given you the rubric that I assess the Remix and Remediate project. As you can sort of see, there is a 3-pronged focus. The first one on the instructional plan, the second one on the inquiry as stance approach, as well as the methods, findings, and next steps you sort of see as you create the exemplar, as well as, I'm an English major, so writing, organization, and mechanics, that focus. I also have given you an example outline so that this, I hope, helps you with the write-up. The write-up is 2,500 words. You are allowed to go 500 over or 500 under. If you turn something in that's 1,700 words, you haven't done the project. You haven't done it sort of in the way that has really helped me sort of understand how you've read in the course, as well as some of the your own independent work of thinking about teaching your school subject matter with technology. Here's a quick outline. I won't go over it because I'm going to send it in an email, but if you do have questions, like I said, contact me. As we look ahead, I want you to sort of notice that in week 5 and 6, I'm a little bit hands-off. There'll still be some sort of, opening videos and things, but next week we start a choose your own adventure readings where you'll only read content that is specific to the disciplinary matter that you teach. So you will have a menu of options: early childhood, English language arts, social studies and the historical humanities, STEM or STEAM, as well as a couple others. This week 6 is really about keeping it up to date in Beach, but also you acting as a researcher and choosing some of your own free choice articles that will help guide your Remix and Remediate assignment. You all have access to MSU libraries. This is how that will work. The instructional unit plan of Remix and Remediate is due on June 27th at 9 p.m. There is no sort of flexibility in that date, as everything is due July 2nd. And as you can sort of see with my feedback, because this is such a short course, I want to be extremely, extremely responsible to you as students and give you back course grades, pretty quickly. And so with that, I just don't have the time to sort of give you copious notes and feedback. So the rubric, as well as if we go back, the rubric and some of the comments will be the primary means for that type of feedback. As always, though, if you have any questions, please tweet me at Wargo John, contact me at my email, or like Stephanie did, you can text me, we can Google chat, we can do a myriad of things. Please, 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 if you have questions, contact me. I am here for you. I want you all to be great techno teachers, and I want you all to keep doing amazing things like you're doing. Have a wonderful week. Talk soon.